Sa part 2 of 3, panoorin po natin ang pagtatanong ni Hashim Jinpy Giliena at Ciara Sembrano ng ABS-CBN sa mga bisita ni Dr. Eric San Juan at ang pagpapakilala ni Dr. Habib Nicabulin.
Tanong ko lang makapanahonan nyo, sino po, nagkaroon po pa kayo ng meeting sa labas ng bansa natin na nagpatawag ang Council of Foreign Relations sa mga miyembro high top rank ng MILF before nung bago pa kayo katalmi sa laban?
Maraming mga meetings outside the country. Yes, and that's part of the growth of the struggle, yung establishment of a relationship. But I wasn't a part of that.
Sino po yung representant ng MILF sa Council of Foreign Relations?
Si Dr. Michael Mastura. Doon mo makikita na iba yung pumapapil sa kanila, iba yung nasa likuran, yung puppet master.
Marami po, for instance, sa Libya meron sila, sa Egypt meron sila, sa Saudi Arabia. They were able to secure that parang backdoor international recognition, kumbaga. So, nagawa yan. Una-una, ang Libya dito ang unang nag-acknowledge. In fact, yung mga supply natin sa Almas, it was supported by then President Gaddafi. Alam natin yan, documented yan. And so, other nations follows, depending on the approach, on the ability of in charge in foreign relations.
Good morning po, Ciara Sembrano po sa ABS-CBN. Kasi inabulan ko yung sabi ni Sir Pupi, correct me if I'm wrong, yung MILF is harboring foreign terrorists, effectively saying there are also terrorist organization still. But being part of the MILF before.
Yun na nakumpisa ngayon sabi ko doon, sapagkat noong 1986, when Salamat came to Mindanao, and then he made a declaration. I-open natin itong Abu Bakar. In fact, kung napunta kayo ng Abu Bakar noong late 80s na yan and early 90s, it's a very peaceful place. Halimbawa, sa restaurant, kakain ka, nang ikaw yung mag-compute ng nakain mo. Walang magpupuna sa'yo kung bayaran mo lang yung halimbawa, nakaubos ka ng 10 piso, di 5 lang sa pera, o yan ang, okay, it's alright. Galing. So, yung sakayan, halimbawa yung habal-habal, hindi pwede magsama ang babae, lalaki, na walang relationship. So, mga ganon. Walang yung naninigarilyo doon, walang alak, walang mga vices doon.
Discipline,
Yes, that's very disciplined. So, probably that is the idea of Salamat, because he wanted to establish sinasabi ng Islamic State. And to make the difference, he wants to demonstrate a peaceful society where people could live it. So, doon nag-umpisa yung sinasabi ng harboring, because people outside the country exploited that situation. Mind you, alam nila. But remember, the MILF is a revolutionary organization. The presence of other groups fighting against the government is memorable to them. It is not natural yun. Now, nagsago yan nung nagkaroon na ng peace process. This is duty. Because andyan na yung AJAG. In 2003, nagkaroon ng AJAG. That AJAG is interdiction and isolation of criminal elements. Walang term na terorista. Kasi hindi pa masyado but isolation and interdiction of criminal elements operating in Mindanao. So the MILF is bound to observe that agreement. And under that agreement, kung merong terorista, merong criminal elements andun sa kanyang area, they are obliged to report that to the government through the AJAG, the Ad Hoc Joint Action Group. Ganon yun. So, ang tanong lang kung meron bang ganon, meron bang na-report ang MILF? And I believe meron naman. But as to how the degree of implementation of that program is a question which I cannot answer.
Yung mga allegations po ng ilang senators na
Yes.
the MILF knew that Marwan and Guzman were there all this time, since early 2000, and you were also still MILF then.
May puntos po yun eh. Halimbawa, ni President ng Basit Guzman na officially they denied it. But it's a public natin ito. Hindi mo naman masisisi ang MILF because they are still negotiating for peace. They are still fighting for self-determination. Ika nga. And so, ang theory ng MILF kasi, i-ariin muna natin yan. Then, kami na bahala rin ron. Which is a very dangerous, it's a dangerous theory. Kaya nga tayo nagkaganito. That is why, yung ating grupo ay nagsasabi na BBL, the approach, the process should be improved to attune and to answer to request and demands of our people for peace and development in Mindanao.
So, hindi totoo, sir, yung sinasabi na hindi nila alam na nandun.
Official yun. At at the back of their mind, hindi nila sasabi yun official eh. Sapagkat marinindigan nila. Iba yung official, iba yung non-official.
Yung non-official ang totoo. Yung non-official, hindi totoo.
Well, mind you, itong negosyasyon ito, kaya nga tayo nagkakaritog sapagkat hindi in-expose sa public eh. Napupula ka naman tayo sapagkat mayroong agreement na gano'n. So, this has been the manner, the situation that we wanted to be corrected. Because once and for all, matuloy na tayo. Because sa beginning pa, nagsinungaling na. Yes, there is a tendency to, itapon natin yung mga bagay na hindi pa po sa atin. Ano masama kung sabihin natin? So that our people will not be, mislead of what we are saying. Ginagawa ng gobyerno ito eh. Wala nang sinasabi. Maganda. Pero hindi maganda ang katotohanan.
Pero para malinaw lang, categorically, yung totoo, whether official or unofficial, did alam ba ng MILF na nandoon?
Of the press. Alam.
Office ba, Chara? Doon sa mismong area, yung community na yun too good to be true na hindi alam. Kasi, dahil may community, meron nga nga may small bus nga doon eh.
Si Jerry Bogue nga, dito sa Maynila, alam niya.
Pa siya sabi ni Iqbal, sabi niya, kung kapitbahay mo, hindi mo alam eh. Pero iba sa probinsya. Sa probinsya, dulo-dulo, alam. Kasi, ibang klase sa probinsya. Kaya marami tayong taga-probinsya dito. Dahil, alam ko sila ba't kaapo-apoan mo, kilala eh. Di ba?
Ano man, sir, kay General Buki naman. So, yung mga intelligence na hawak ninyo, corroborated po ba yun ng AFP? Paano ba yung flow of information? Nag-share po ba kayo sa kanila? Do they validate it? Kasi, di ba, hindi naririnig sa kanila yung mga sinasabi sa Guzman, sa liaison, sa MILF, other than
Sa anong forces, hindi akong direkta nakikipag-share. Because I attempted to share with the National Police. Wala naman silang positive response. We will validate that. Ano pala yan? So, ayaw kong ma-misconstrue na we are a paper source of information. Kaya we choose to remain silent. At the same time, si Professor Banlawi ang yung tanong mo may add something, Quiet, please. Offering a lot of this terrorist incident and information. Kung makikita ninyo, ang plastada ngayon is mayroong yung mga Islamia present sa Sulu, saka sa Basilan. Ang kasama nila doon ay yung Islamia. So, sino ba itong grupo na ito? Diba, they are considered terrorists. Sinasabi natin noon na Al-Qaeda sila. Ngayon naman ay Islamic Khilafah Caliphate. So, pinagdidibatehan pa yun ng intelligence sa community. Hindi pa masyado united, yung tuwing dyan. This group to Central Mindanao. Ganun din. Nandun yung
One OFIP, Al-Kupas sa Manila, then even sa Pintaro, yung dating mga tignapuran. Even in Davao Oriental, if you are aware of it, I'm aware, and I have solid information. Mayroong cell ng EBI-EBIT doon na nandun din yung bumibisita din yung grupo ni Usman doon, providing support in terms of training, most especially sa explosives. Diyan din sa Sibugay, nagkaroon din ng integration dyan. So what I'm saying is, kung sa unit ng integration, very, very clear yan. Let's go back to finance pipeline. Yung current finance pipeline ngayon, halos parehas pa rin yan yung dito sa paper na ito. Mayroon na mga bagong Islamic non-government organizations in Mindanao na nakasiris yung grupo ni Usman. Because being a counter-terrorism watcher for a long, long time, alam po ninyo yung naging experience po namin noon. Nandiyan sila sa Islamic NGO, pero mga bomber pala ito. We don't know them because we don't have the capacity for third country intervention. I'm referring to the cell of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed before. I don't know him. Eh siya, alam niya yun. I'm telling you, we are coming from a different direction. They are already watching. Sinasabi ko yan, kasi for almost 10 months, we conducted the covert investigation on the presence of radical Islamic fundamentalism movement in the Philippines. At naampas namin yung mga radical Islamic NGO na yung pala, si Khalifa na yun. So, ang sinasabi ko dito, itong link ng email, if you will, I will give you a copy of this, makikita mo talaga na pati Raja Sulaiman, kinuktok nila salamat noon, yung si Akbar Santos, yung nagbomba ng Super Ferry, nag-train sila doon sa Iwasan Mars. At paano nalaman ito? Because we continuously nagiging busy ko na tuloy na yung magkandak ng debriefing. That's my passion to tanggal debriefing on sources of terrorist stories. Sa part of my passion on research. Ngayon, kung lilimin mo mabuti ngayon, continuing up, nagbago na ng konti yung mga pangalan ng mga Islamic NGO, dyan pa rin sila. Kung kakalkalin mo itong mga Islamic Dawa Center, yung mga ibang illustrated dyan, kasi territory ng iba ito. So, to sum it all, dalawa talaga yung strategic intent dito. Yung financing sa alliance. That's what Mr. Kapalo is talking. Nung sinabi nila, sinupan nila yung Abu Bakar, parang open city. Nagkaroon na ng may diaspora yung mga jihadis doon. Nandun na yung Egyptian, nandun na yung mga iba't ibang Middle East nationality. In fact, I can assure you, it's my personal knowledge. I debrief a battalion commander, Class 83, I will not mention the name. While I was in the PCTC, ganito yung nangyari doon, sinabi ko, tinanong namin, anong nangyari, inarit mo yung kasi kumakaroon ng data. Sabi niya, awa ko isang platon, nag-experience kami sa left flank, nung malapit na namin maano yung may nakita siya na parang ara-ara kong isura natin. Nung hinulti na, hindi niya maintindihan kasi tumatae. Tumatay yung Arabo. Tapos nung nagkaroon, nabaril. Nabaril yun. May namatay na Arabo doon sa Abu Bakar. I don't know kung nalaman ni Mr. Tapaloya, pero personal knowledge, narration ng battalion commander, nakasama doon mismo nung year 2000. Kaya talaga yung precision theories no, during that time, was positively established until now. Iba lang yung iba lang yung kasi they are pursuing very, very cleverly yung estilo na talk, fight, talk. Parang yan, victim yan. At ang nagpapit sa kanila, yung PIFF. Dahil sa mayroong peace process na yun. Ganun yun, pati yung one OPIP, hindi nila makontrol itong OPIP. Maraming para palagay. Pero, merong effective ba yung disciplinary measures ng email? May disiplina ba nila si Kasar Goma, si Way Bunto? Hindi nila disiplin. Ito nga yung mga ginagawa nila, kinanipilas nila yung mga baril ng sape, wala silang public information, pwede nilang i-display na yung So, they are terrorist organization. nakikipag-usap sila sa revolutionary organization na they are doing terrorist operation until now.
This portion is brought to you by
Ultra Pure Water Purifier. Samantala sa inyong lahat na gusto ng malinis na tubig, direkta sa inyong mga gripo, narito na ang Ultra Pure Water Purifier. Matipid na, garantisadong malinis na tubig ang hatid pa.
Meron itong katanungan, no? Dato sa Jalal Mendoza. Sabi dito ng isang kasama sa media, does the MLF subscribe to the authority of the state? They want the crimes committed by their armed combatants in Mama Sapano to be tried by the International Court of Justice and the submission of report to facilitator, which is Malaysia. Unusual yun. Acts of vigilancy. A vigilant state has a clearly defined territory with the powers of taxation and eminent domain. For truly lasting peace, do we have to enact the Bangsamoro Basic Law? Yan. Katanungan. Abay, isipin mo yan. Meron na ng taxation, meron na lahat ng ano, pero ang matindi rito, ay yung report daw, hindi una bibigay sa Pilipino. Sa Malaysia. Bakit sa Malaysia? Anong personality na Malaysia? Iba, mediator lang sila?
Ganito naman, to be fair, yung involvement ng Malaysia is not the imposition of Malaysia itself or the MLF. If you recall, when Arab was ousted, the first step GMA did was to contact Malaysia. He sent a team to convince Malaysia to the facilitator in convincing the MLF to return to the negotiating table. Ganun naman po kung bakit naging andyan ng Malaysia. In other words, hindi po kagustuhan ng MLF yan. It's the initiative of then GMA. Pumunta sila sa Malaysia, convincing, asking then Prime Minister Mahathir, sabagat nakita ko po yung maraming beses pumunta yung mga Malaysia doon sa Bulyok. At that time, salamat was already in Bulyok, Offensive Magalungan, Maguindanao. And so nagkaroon muli, na-open muli yung talks because of that intervention of Malaysia. Now, obviously, ang MLF is subservient to Malaysia. Ito yung realidad na ang iba hindi nila nakikita. It's a subservient sapagkat Malaysia obviously took advantage of the situation. Sa kanila, I believe, merong theory na pag walang solusyon ng problema sa Mindanao, stalemate kumbaga, ay to the advantage of the Malaysian government. Why? Sapagkat hindi po natatatin yung sinansama. But when you resolve the Mindanao problem, ay matutunan yung pansin natin doon sa issue ng Sabah. So, ganyan po. And then, mind you, it's a very complicated issue sapagkat hindi po na-involve ito yung Sultanate of Sulu dito sa issue nito. So, umaangal din sila. So, meaning, the approach is not inclusive, but rather exclusive. Kung kaya't meron pong umaangal.
Sir Boogie, balikan ko lang yung tanong, sir. Paano tinatanggap ng OSP yung hawak niyong information? Kasi from the way they speak now, parang maayos na yung relasyon nila with the MILF. Kaya nga sila frustrated din doon sa lack of coordination.
Ganito yung sagot ko dito. I'm now a civilian personality. I'm the president of the Philippine Institute for Peace, Violence, and Terrorism. So, napupursige kami sa ganitong passion. Kung ang pag-uusapan ay information sharing, I cannot answer that because Professor Banlaw is doing that. But I don't know kung full, sufficient, o ano, I cannot answer that. Pero sa mga ibang bagay, dahil nasa inaano namin ito sa media, because of awareness, kahit yung mga non-government organization in the international dimension, pwede silang mag-release ng paper as long as controlled na hindi naman makakapit sa national security environment. Sa mga punto na may nalalaman kami, it's important siguro na inupuntin namin ito. Kasi iba't ibang sources eh. Hindi naman sinasabi namin na malalim nalalaman namin. But we are analyzing. So, naging para bang sistema na natin. So, na kung maganda ka ng analyze mo, makakuha ka ng information, analyze it again, and I think we are doing our share. Ngayon, kung palagi akong na-interview, it's not my fault. Kailangan naman ako interview na kung sabi mo, ayaw kong na-interview sa inyo. Hindi ako makakaroon ng maliit na contribution. No? So, yun lang, yung addition ko. Hindi ko mabalidate kung tinatanggap nila o hindi. Pero ba to assume na kinukumpra nila o hindi. But I was able to talk with other people from the ENP. Tinatanggap nila yung information. Because masakit po ito, ang sabi ng iba dyan, alam mo sir, confidential na ito our intelligence capacity is straight. Yun ang word nila. Yung word nila, no? I don't want to expand. Dahil lang sa mga priority sa mga peace process, may nalalaman na ako dyan na nag-issue sila ng parang, hinay-hinay muna dahil sa laro-laro sa INP. So, kung peace at all cost, okay lang yun. Pero kung makompromise yung national security aspirations yun, Philippines tayo, medyo hinay-hinay tayo. I should say some people there are operational, no? Because of state authority, they are doing their job properly, no? That's their job description. Naniniwala sila na bahagi sila ng NADIA, naniniwala sila na kung sa Association of Stabilities at yung policy ng state. Hindi sa state policy na you have to support yung peace process and we will also support that. But it so happen na mayroon na kong mga perspective na kailangan tinamabuti. Tinamabuti ito kasi hindi lang ang counter-terrorism is not only focused on mere arresting a terrorist suspect. Correct. It is a whole network that must be understood deeply and widely. Ang nangyayari, mukhang ang counter-terrorism victory is only measured on the arrest of high-value target. And I don't believe in that. That is my position. Because I was involved in so many things in the past. The totality of counter-terrorism objective is to unmask the network, disrupt it, and decapitate it. The whole network.
This portion is brought to you by
Elmost Whitening Soap. Narito na sa gustong pumuti at gumanda. Ito ang kasagutan sa problema mo, kapatid. Elmost Whitening Soap sa murang halaga, kutis artista ka na.
Attorney Capalo, paliwanagan niyo po ako kasi medyo naguguluhan po ako doon sa official statement niyo po. Ang sabi niyo po ay mali ang balita na totally ay against po kayo doon sa BBL. Sa malinaw na salita po, ano pong ibig sabihin na gusto niyo rin po ba yung BBL? Pabor ba kayo sa peace process? Pero mayroon lang po kayong ibang provision na BBL na ayaw ninyo. Now, ang di ko po maintindihan, bakit po pinagre-resign ninyo po ang Pangulo, gayong siya po yung nagsusulong ng peace process. Ang pangalawang question, kung alam po ng MILF na nandoon sa Mama Sapano, si Marwan, ibig sabihin po, sinungaling si Iqbal po nang sabihin niya na hindi niya alam.
Una, yung sumusuporta po tayo. Ang official stand natin is any effort so long as it is peaceful, non-violent, leading to the resolution of the problem in Mindanao, we are very much supportive. Yan yung position natin. Now, we don't want any more provisions. Ang gusto natin, ay mari-arrange ito sapagkat apparently maraming sectors ang hindi po napasama dito. So we have to improve the process so that the ABS should be improved so that in the end, wala pong may iwanan. Walang angal, ika nga. Right now, napakaraming angal. Christians, non-Muslims alike, ika nga, shouting, ano ba yan? Ano ba, kukunin ba ang lupa namin yan? Ano ba? All these things are misconception because there is no proper information when this Sanamakan BBL was in other words, it needs further education to our people. And to do that, it has to be inclusive. The approach is inclusive, not exclusive. So, ganun po. Sufficient na yan. If that, the present 1954, RA 1952, the present R, kung ang nakaupo dyan, kung yung mga taong nandito dyan, ay ang inaato pa delivery of the services that have been denied to our people in the community. Sana maganda na ang pamumuhay natin dyan. That alone can do the difference as far as development of our community or people is concerned. But the truth is, hindi po na-deliver yan. Sapagkat yung ipinibigay na pera noon, merong return to sender. Dito sa Manila. Yan yung
Sino yung sinasabi niyo hindi kasama? Kami kasi mahirap mag-speculate na hindi.
Maraming sector eh.
Nandito yung ibang guest natin. Talking about other stakeholders, no? Maraming stakeholders. Remember, last week nga, nandito yung spokesperson ng Sultanate of Hiram. And at the same time ngayon, nandito yung isang ating kaibigang MNLF na party ng Sultanate, si Count Habib Nikabulin, Dr. Nikabulin. And at the same time, si Muhammad Isa, na head naman ng Sultanate of Tagalog and Bicol Region. Let's hear from them. Payag ba kayo sa BBL na yan, na hindi kayo kasama?
Unang-una, ang usapin pagkakalat ay napaka-mahaba. This is serious na. And it should be a standing policy of the state that peaceful resolution for all problems should be a state. In other words, it should be a policy that unconditional. Itong pangyayari sa mga sapan, pagkabat it's a tragic incident, but for us, in any way, it should not be the cause for the peace process. You know, I was once a grandfather of Eminem, hindi na po sa task force of course, kabataan ko. Practically, I was mainly in charge of Mindanao at that time. Island of Pinan, not only Sulu or Tawi-Tawi, Masinan. I was the youngest top-ranking eminent na task kung sa pinakamalawa ko na yun. You know, ang dami kong halos nakaharap sa ground. Siguro mga hinala na ngayon, isa na si Major Macanas at the time. We were faced of submarine Butuan, Abusan. Almost a shooting, incident. And the other incident also was, I was, cut across somewhere in Santa Cruz, was part of that one. Also, Colonel Francisco at the time, pinantayan niya ako from Surigao on my way to Butuan. Pero hindi nangyari sapagkat ang adikain ko noon, at yun ang adikain ng Eminem, ay hindi para mag-hagis ng lagim or ng kaguluhan, bagamat ay kapayapaan. So, nabanggit ko ito sapagkat ito ay yun ang kalagahan ng pinapatingkad mo yung substance ng mapayapang pamamaraan. Nabanggit ko ito sapagkat nangyari sa akin. Mismo ako ang yung nakataya doon as ground commander. Naikot pang Mindanao. Talaga, I was almost with the, Colonel Pacuño at the time, Chief of Police ng Talakag, aristuin ng isang tao na sinuspitsa na may warrant of arrest at hindi ko pinaresto sapagkat ang sabi ko ay nasa pangalaga po siya at respetuin natin ang ceasefire agreement. At kung mapatunayan ko at siya ay kasalanan, talagang may standing warrant of arrest, ako mismo ang magdadala sa kanya, sa piskalya. So yung pinagkaloob sa akin. So, in other words, it's a matter of, coordination and in a manner that it is acceptable on the basis of, cultural values. At hindi naman dapat ay nananaig yung emotion natin parati. Ito, nandito acknowledge ko ang isang nagiting din na retired police officer. Si Colonel Abdul Wahab Karimuddin, naging PD siya ng Basilan ng police office. At para sa inyong kaalaman, siya ang humuli kay Rolito Bonon nung siya ay kapitan pa. At dahil doon, nung karoon siya ng staff promotion, naging major siya. At yun, nung siya ay PD ng Basilan, alam natin ang Basilan, walang halos pinagkaiba sa Suluyan at Maguindanao. At sa balita, ang daming napuputulan doon ng ulo. Pero sa awa ng Panginoon, nung panahon niya PD siya, may isang pulis. Wala. None from his men, resulting to, losing of life. Ang katotohanan, 80% ng kanyang matawan ay hindi mga Muslim. Hindi Muslim. In other words, na-neutralize niya ang grupo at yung collateral damage ay na-minimize. Because naintindihan niya ang kahalagahan ng kapayapaan, ng kaayusan. Although, nandun sa kanya ang task, yung law enforcement. At para sa akin, para sa niya. Law enforcement talaga ay it should be done for a rule of law to prevail. Yun ang mahalaga eh. Para sa amin, napakalaga kahit anong usapin, kung ano ang bagay, yung rule of law ang dapat mananaig. Ngayon, sinasabi mo, as a Muslim, we are guided and we are survived by the standard of what Islam way of life is. Kung tutusin, yun ang namin eh. So kumbaga, yun ang rule of law as a Muslim. In our daily activity and everything, and should be based on that standard. But then, on the basis of understanding others' inclinations, other standards. That's why we are supporting that the rule of law on the basis of humanity, and as a Filipino people, mayroon tayong saligang batas. The rule of law shall prevail. Ibig sabihin, kung ano ang dikta ng ating saligang batas, ay yun ang mananaig at kahit kami Muslim, mayroon kaming sariling pamantayan ng aming pamumuhay, but because it is paramount to coexist with others, and that is why we submit to the full rule of law, and that is the fundamental law of the land, and that is we have the full adherence to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. And for the information of everyone, yun ang concern namin from the MNLF side, that the 1996 Final Peace Agreement falls in that standard. It is part of the law of the land, and that shall prevail.
Abangan po sa Part 3 ang huling bahagi at pagpapakilala ni Muhammad Iza, Chairman President ng New Sultanate of the Tagalog Region.